Good morning, everyone. As Carl said, my name's Ben Shields. I'm the head of Lower School PE and Sport here at Harrow. Thank you for coming. It's really nice to see so many friendly faces. This is an area that I'm really passionate about. We have the chance to make a big difference with our children at an early age so that when they go through being a child and into adulthood, we can make early impressions to keep them as physically active in life. And that's ultimately our aim. If they leave Harrow and go into adulthood being active, then we've done the best that we can do for them. So a little bit about some of the characters in the PE and Sport department. Almost all of these individuals have worked at Harrow for a long time. Good morning. And almost all of them will work with your children in early years, whether it's in their PE lessons, in their games lessons, in their well-being lessons, or in their swimming lessons. So we're very lucky. A lot of these people are highly qualified, and I'm sure many of you have seen them walking around school. So if you do see them, feel free to ask them any questions, and they are always willing to help answer any questions about your children. So a little bit about the guidelines in terms of government. This is from the World Health Organization and the Australian Department of Health. So what does a healthy 24 hours look like for a 3 to 5 year old? What does that look like? So in terms of physical activity, they should be being active for 3 hours a day, 24 hours. At least 60 minutes is energetic play. Now, you can categorize that as however you so wish, but a lot of our children are very lucky that we have that outdoor area in early years, so they're getting a lot of physical activity during the day. A lot of what you will do with them will add into that as well. So I think our children are very lucky that they have a lot of outdoor play, they have a lot of energetic play, so I think we should be close to hitting that. But it's good to know that children should be moving for 3 hours a day. In terms of the opposite, sedentary behaviour, which means not moving, children shouldn't be sat still for more than an hour. It's not good for their development. So if you are going to be stuck in a car seat, sometimes Bangkok traffic, thinking about reading, telling a story, doing a puzzle, having a chat. So at least we're trying to negate that sitting still behaviour. And then finally, sleep. I'm sure that you're all aware as parents, 10 to 13 hours is good for a child between 3 to 5. You may not get 10 to 13 hours, but if they're getting it, then that's really great. So what do we offer our children at Harrow Bangkok? So if your child is in nursery and they stay for the whole day at the moment, they will get all of this, okay? So physical education, all of the children will get 30 minutes a week PE, and I'll talk about what PE is in a moment. They will get a 30-minute games lesson, they will get a 30-minute swim, and, as Carolina will talk to you about in a moment, they will get 2 30-minute physical literacy sessions. And again, Carolina in a moment will talk about what is physical literacy.
And all these are per week?
This is per week, yeah. Now, this is the only one in the morning, and of course outdoor playtime. So if your child doesn't stay for a whole day, they do miss out on some of this. But I imagine if they become full-day children, then they will start to pick up some of this, okay? Swimming at the moment is in the afternoon. It is in the morning in reception, so hopefully if they do miss out a little bit, then we'll make sure they pick that up. In reception, very similar, but their PE is 1 hour. So they're getting 1 hour a week. That's in the morning. They will also have a 30-minute well-being PE lesson, 30-minute swimming. And this is not this year, but we would like to add it next year because, as Carolina will allude to, physical literacy is really important. So this is pending for next year. Okay, so if your child is in reception, hopefully they may be able to access some of that as well. And of course, we're very lucky, anything outdoor play, any ECAs, any after-school activity they do as well. So what is everything that I've just talked about? So PE, what we focus on are three things. Locomotion. What is locomotion? It's how we move. So it's running, jumping, crawling, how we get from A to B. Stability is balancing, landing, gymnastics, looking at how we control our muscles. And then manipulation is how we throw, but we're using an object. So throwing, kicking, rolling, using tennis rackets, using bats, using scarves, using balloons, lots of different things. And we teach that through themes, okay? We don't just say, everyone pick up a ball and bounce it. We imagine that the ball is a planet. We're bouncing the planets. We're telling stories and we're trying to hook in their imagination. For me, that's really, really important. And particularly if you're a 3-year-old, if I told you to bounce a ball, they're probably going to do it because a lot of our children are superstars, but if we tell them to bounce a planet, they're going to be hooked in a lot quicker. What else is on our curriculum? Physical literacy, Carolina will talk about in a moment. Well-being. This is a new concept this year, and every child from nursery to year 5 will have a well-being PE lesson. What is this? It's essentially a 30-minute lesson that we try to link what they do in the classroom into PE. So for example, year 4 next term are doing a whole unit about health, and we can link that into PE quite easily. This year, year 5 have done a unit on leadership, so we taught them how to be leaders in PE, how to be play leaders. In nursery, they might be doing a unit on superheroes, so we'll do a PE unit on superheroes. So it's trying for the children to understand the big picture. Games, this one is an important one, I think, because it teaches them social skills. We play lots of games where they regularly win and lose. I see this in pre-prep. Children don't like losing, but if we try to start from an early age, regularly playing games, we lost today, high five our friends. We try to develop that and make sure that they're understanding winning and losing is both okay in PE, but also in life as well. And finally, swimming. I will talk about swimming in more detail in a moment. So, the key components of child development. These two are probably the most important. So, core strength and the shoulder girdle stability. So what is that? Basically, a child develops from the inside outwards, okay? They can't control their fingers until they can control the center of their body, their main part. This is the biggest part of our body, certainly the biggest part of my body. If they can control this, it develops through their limbs, and then they are able to control a pencil. If they can't control their body weight, they can't use a pencil and cut and pick up things with their fine motor skills. So what we do in PE is we look at developing our core strength, so balancing on one leg. We lie on our tummies. Can we do the Superman? Can we control our shoulders? Can we have that plank position, trying to touch our head in a plank, trying to pick up objects? So if they can develop that stability here, it will develop through their limbs and it will help them with writing. Even sitting in a chair, all of you now are using your core strength to sit. Some children will flop, so we need to make sure that we develop that strength here. The second one, which Carolina, I'm sure, does a lot in physical literacy, crossing the midline. If you imagine there's a line down your body, okay, we've got the left-hand side and the right-hand side. We want to use both, and we want to cross it. The reason is it will activate both parts of the brain, so the left and the right. So, for example, ways that we do that, using balloons. So can I put the balloon this way? Can I put the balloon this way? Bubbles. Can I pop the bubble going across my body? Can I put a sticker from the left-hand side to the right-hand side? And again, with both parts of the body. Feet as well. Can I kick across? Can I kick across with both legs? Finally, the last two, visual tracking. So again, if I'm watching a butterfly, am I watching it or am I staring here and the butterfly goes past? Am I watching a balloon so I can hit it? Am I watching a bubble, scarves? Am I watching a ball so I can kick it? So we do lots of visual tracking. And finally, spatial awareness. Are we helping our children not bump into things? If they're going around an obstacle course, can they see that they need to jump over or go around something? So making sure they don't, when they're walking around the classroom, are they bumping into the table? So making sure they know how to get from here to here and how to do it. Swimming. I know I get a lot of parents ask me, is swimming safe? Believe me, I've worked in a lot of schools, and swimming at Harrow Bangkok is the safest place to be out of any school that I've worked. what is swimming at Harrow Bangkok? We make sure it's a key life skill. They should be swimming at a very early age so that when they become adults like ourselves, we're confident when we're at the beach. Or if we're having a lovely holiday in Phuket, we're able to use the pool safely and we know how to do that. Water confidence, so we're always blowing bubbles, making sure that we're splashing. Even in the shower, can the children get under the shower so they get their head wet? Propulsion skills, so can they keep their body still? Can they float on their back like a mushroom, like a star? Lots of games and just having loads of fun. We have lots of treasure. As you saw in the photo at the beginning, we have lots of balls and things to play in the water, so it's a really fun lesson. It's not just swimming up and down. The kids are moving around. We've got lots of toys. It's a great place to be. Safety, I want to reassure you that it is really, really safe for your children to swim. We have 7 adults minimum. So we have 3 adults in the pool. So it might be myself, Mr. Jeffries, Kun Sompam, and then we have 3 adults on the outside of the pool, and we have 1 lifeguard. So that's a lot of eyes keeping an eye on your children. We have them in small groups so that maybe I'm only working with 3 or 4 children myself. It's a saline pool, which is a saltwater pool, which is better than chlorine. Sometimes when you come out of the pool and you've got that chlorine smell, this one does not smell as bad. So you might have a little smell, but even though they're always showering before and after, it won't stain and damage towels and swimwear. There's water readings 6 times a day minimum, so they're checking the different chemicals, and there's regular cleaning, so just to put your mind at ease. I'm going to pass over to Carolina. I've spoken about physical literacy a lot, and Carolina will talk you through what that is.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carolina. I'm doing the physical literacy sessions. You might want to know what is physical literacy. On physical literacy, we're working on the fundamental motor skills, but in a fun way, to the kids be able to enjoy and get different challenge. These can be linking for the future to be able to do any sport or to keep active for life. What are we doing in our session? We're doing a circuit with different stations. These stations change every week, and every week we give progressions. That way they feel, oh, this is easy. Of course, next week will be a little more challenge. And the most important is have fun. Have fun. We want to go to the class and have a good time and have a good relation with the friends and have a great time. And now I want to show you a video. It's about physical literacy. Oh, I don't know where to press. Yeah, and this video you can see how fundamental motor skills they can be linked for the future. Why it's so important to develop these skills in the early year. Yeah, it's very simple, but you can understand the coordination, jump, balance is very important for our kids to develop all the physical motor skills, and they want to be linking on the future to be able to practice any sport, for more important, to be able to be active for life. For me, for myself, the most important is make them understand that we can love to be active, that we want to be happy. This love to practice physical activities can be stay for all life. Thank you.
I think that video really shows that the things that we do with our children now will impact them in later life. I think that video is really, really special. The rotation, those skills will be transferable to, for us to use. So it's really, really powerful. Thank you, Carolina. We won't see it again. Okay, I've just got 2 more slides. The final thing a lot of parents ask me is about digital time. Screens, iPads. I'm addicted. I sit in the evening, scroll, and I think it's important that we think about how we find solutions and how we combat that while still embracing it as well. Our children, well, your children, will have jobs in the future that don't even exist yet. They will be living in an amazing world, and it will be very digital, but it's important that we still maintain physical activity because it is so, so important. So I just want to share this with you. I won't read it to you. I have added and adults because when I read a lot of this, it's the same for me as well. So here's what happened when kids are given screens to prevent boredom. They fail to make everyday observations and they tune out. When I'm on my phone and sometimes my wife talks to me, I will tune out because maybe I'm on my phone. Children will start to do that as well if they're absorbing information. They do not learn to entertain themselves creatively. When I was a kid, I would just go to the park and I would just climb and play and run. I didn't have a device to entertain me. And I'm sure probably similar for you. So we need to make sure that children still get that chance to play, create games themselves, and we're not just sticking an iPad in front of them and then remember that sedentary behavior at the beginning, 1 hour sedentary behavior maximum a day. They don't know how to learn to self-regulate, so they don't know when they're bored, they don't know when they're too hot, they don't know when they're too cold, they don't know when they've had enough screen time, so we need to support them with that. And their attention spans, and it can become anxiety and stress if we don't have a screen. Okay, it can build that. So solutions, if we want to embrace the digital world into being physical active, if we have some iPad time in the afternoon at home, can we do some dancing, singing videos? Can we make it active using the screen as a stimulus? Go for a scavenger hunt outside. Use the iPad. Can you go and find 5 red things? Go and take photos of them. So they're using their iPad in a productive way. I'm sure that you have some sort of limit on iPad time, but maybe using a timer so the children can see how much time they have left so they don't become too anxious when you say iPad time is finished. And when Bangkok will allow you for rain or AQI or the heat, embrace the outdoors. I know it's difficult in Bangkok sometimes, but making the most of the green spaces is really important as well. So, these are my top tips for you guys at home, okay? This list is not exhaustive, there'll be plenty of things. So, these are my 3 top tips, and then I'm going to give you lots of activities in a moment as well. Family modelling. We were just talking about the long ducker last week. I was so impressed how many early years children did the run. It's a long way, but those children seeing their family being active is the most powerful thing, more powerful than what we do in PE. Them watching you be active, or I'm going to the gym, or I'm doing a workout at home. Do you want to join in on a hit video on YouTube? Them watching you do that will really inspire them, believe me. They will recall those memories and want to copy you. We want our children to be academically successful, but movement is proven to support academic success. That's very, very simple. And just make it fun. Go for a bike ride together, race each other, climb trees, make it as fun as possible. So these are my practical top tips for you guys if you want to try at home. So balloons, as you can see from these 2 lovely children, balloons we use in PE all the time. Playing tennis with balloons, don't let it touch the floor. Can you use your head? Can you use your fingers? Can you use your tummy? Can you use your knees? Using different body parts to keep the balloon in the air. Using socks. So instead of the climbing wall being vertical, put the climbing wall on the floor. Not a slippery floor like this, but put socks on the floor and can they climb this way? Crossing the midline, as I said. So imagine that line down the middle. Can they pop bubbles? Can they paint across their body? developing that stability here, so making a bridge with their body, balancing on one leg, even when they're waiting for their food, 30 seconds, make it again. Barefoot play. These two children, this young lady has socks on, but we tried to have no shoes in PE, so the children can feel and grip with their toes. Even picking up socks with their toes, playing a game, pick it up with your toe, put it into a bucket. It's important for them to feel with their feet. Dressing, undressing, get them to be independent as much as possible. When you dress, you are crossing the midline, putting on your trousers, putting on your t-shirt. We of course want to support them, and I get that, but the more we can create independence, they're developing key motor skills when they're dressing and undressing. Opening and closing food containers, so the grip, tying their shoes, drying themselves after the bath. These are all little things that will help them become physically active. As I said, this list is not exhaustive. There is hundreds. And there are 2 QR codes here for you if you want to scan. This Active for Life is really great, and there's a list here, 50 things to do before you're 11 3/4. So not all of these are relevant for our early years children, but you could make it a game and children could cross them off as they complete them. That is it for me. If you wish to complete a minute survey, feel free to scan it. Carolina and I will be here for any questions, but thank you for taking the time. We really, really appreciate it. And thank you for your time, and hopefully see you soon. Thanks, guys. Thank you.